Are we live? Yeah, we are live. Hello, everyone. My name is Yoram. Really excited to have this session and share with you a project that I think fit very well the vision of Cardano and why we came to Cardano. We wanted to have real-time application building on Cardano. And up to now, we worked a lot behind the scenes. And as the pilot became very successful, we want to start taking it out and sharing with you our work and where we are going. So really a pleasure to have this session with all of you and share with you our work. We have with us, we'll do a quick intro with everyone here. So yeah, let's start with a quick intro and then we'll start diving into the project and the pilot. And Shai, let's start with you.
Hi, Yoram. Thanks. Excited to be here. Thanks for the intro. So my name is Shai. I'm the founder of Hashpoint, a Swiss-based advisory focused on blockchain and AI, on-chain asset management, and essentially working in the intersection of real-world application and decentralized systems. I am the project lead for the original pilot project we did with Syngenta Foundation, which we'll dive into. At a high level, what we're building is essentially a trust layer for agriculture. Today, small farm holders don't have verifiable data about their land and production, and what we're building is to enable that and then lead the way for more advanced application on top.
Yeah, and obviously when you speak about trust layer, the blockchain will be a big foundation.
Absolutely.
Of that.
Absolutely.
Good.
And it's built on the Cardano blockchain, obviously.
Yeah. Sutapa, can you share your role and in the project, please?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Ram. So, hi everyone. I am Sutapa Roy-Gupta and I lead the tech side at AI Quant Technologies. And we are the tech partner in the 5am solution. And we build simple, scalable blockchain solutions that can work across different domains. And we are actively working on Cardano and have already delivered solutions within the ecosystem.
Amazing. And the great advantage here also that you are based in India and you actually can support it with on the ground as well, which is amazing, both the technology and with the teams. And we'll get to that.
Yes, I already visited some of the farms and farmers, and it was a very good experience for me.
Yeah, Deepak sir, please explain who you are working for, and your role.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yoram. So my name is Deepak Ikka. I am basically from Syngenta Foundation India. I am pleased, and I am very much excited and happy to be here today. In Syngenta Foundation India, I work as a project manager, also on the side of technical development and also on the end of data management, everything. I also handle that part. With Cardano Foundation, the project which is happening in India, I'm basically on the side of coordination part, implementation part, handling it, managing it on the field. So that's what I do on Syngenta Foundation India. Syngenta Foundation India basically works for the betterment of the small-scale farmers, and it is having one of the largest network of agri-entrepreneurs in India now. We will talk about it later, and maybe I will explain it. How do we do it, and how do we basically impacting the lives of small-scale farmers across India? So that maybe we can discuss later. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I want to adjust to this intro that this project was financing Project Catalyst Fund 13, I believe, and there was other partners in this. It's a multi-partner collaboration in the ecosystem. We have a field from Anastasia Lab, which is developing the satellite Oracle, and Andamio, AI Quant, Syngenta Foundation, and as well as Syngenta Headquarter, which is a multi-billion-dollar company. So really exciting collaboration here. But let's dive maybe a little bit into the project. So share what we are doing. And Shai, maybe you can explain kind of the application, the initial project application that we are developing.
Yeah. So I mean, in a nutshell, well, first, as you said, many partners and vast collaboration throughout the ecosystem, which is super exciting and a real, I think, opportunity to not just invent a new way of working decentrally, but actually finding a real world existing example of a decentralized ecosystem, which is the Syngenta Foundation's Agri-Entrepreneurs program that Deepak will elaborate on, and tailoring a digital solution on top that leverages Cardano's blockchain trust layer to make things even more decentralized and enable the next layers of application, which would not be possible without this decentralized layer. So at the core of the system is, at this point, a satellite oracle, which is, as you mentioned correctly, was much thanks to Phil and Anastasia Lab implemented here. And this is a first example of how we can take digital data in the form of satellite imagery, enhance it with AI, and then use that data and harness the blockchain to kind of make this data available and trusted by all parties involved in the project. So that's the core of the project. What we see on the screen is actually the app, which we put in the hands of agri-entrepreneurs in India, who are part of the Syngenta Foundation Agri-Entrepreneur program. Here you can see the various screens that an agri-entrepreneur would be presented with, from identifying the farmland of the farmer he's working with and essentially verifying what the satellite information is giving and confirming it. Once it's confirmed, it can be registered to the blockchain, and then we all know the blockchain gives us the immutability of data, and this becomes a trust element in the system. On top of that, we already produce one point of data, which is the farm health index, essentially. Already using advanced AI applications and AI models, giving the agri-entrepreneur some very, very advanced information about his land. And from that, we know that the Syngenta Foundation and Syngenta will be able to derive further information on what to do with that land downstream. So that's in a nutshell what this app is showing us right now. This is just the first step, an example of what can be done. We anticipate having more data sources, more layers of data, and then enabling more advanced application on top.
Okay, perfect. So Tapa, anything to add on that, or it's covered kind of the app?
Yeah, so this is the beginning that we have started with this 1,000 farmers, and then 35,000 farmers, 65,000 farmers, and in this way we are growing. So yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Now I will get back to the implementation on the ground, but now I want really to get to Deepak. Give us a little bit explanation about the agri-entrepreneur model, and especially, we all sit behind computers, but the vast work you are doing on the ground with agri-entrepreneurs and how you manage to scale it. Very important kind of to give it a background.
Yeah. So speaking about agri-entrepreneurship model, if we look into the Indian agriculture today, everything begins and ends with farmer. Okay. And the exact work of what Syngenta Foundation is focused is that we work on a very simple idea. How do we make farming more reliable, profitable, and sustainable for the smallholder farmers? Okay. Now the main challenge for all the farmers is not only about the production, but also they really struggle to access to the right knowledge, maybe a quality input, timely services, and mostly importantly to the markets. They don't have access to the markets, and also it is same with the access to the technology. So what we have done is that Syngenta Foundation India has basically created a system around the farmer. So we identify and train a rural youth and probably a male or female, it doesn't matter, from the same village and support them to become an agri-entrepreneur. These are the people who understand the local context and can provide farmers with doorstep services, whether it is crop advisory, maybe soil and water management advisory, access to mechanizations, access to better technology, and other aspects. So this is how we are working on field, and we are not working on a very small scale actually. So today we are presently supporting more than 2.6 million farmers, and this is all possible through 26,000 total agri-entrepreneurs network across more than 16 states in India. So we are working in such scale. And for farmers, basically, this means that instead of depending completely on some distant system or maybe some digital system, they actually now have someone who is from the same village and who is there in village to support them and help them to make a better decision. Okay. And if we see, the impact is really practical. The farmers are now able to take better decisions, reduce their cost of cultivation, improve their yield, and also ultimately increase their income with the use of technology. So basically we through agri-entrepreneurs collect all the information. Whenever these agri-entrepreneurs are connected with the farmers, we collect all their information, and each agri-entrepreneur works with 150 to 200 farmers and provides services to that particular cohort of farmers at the village level. Okay. So now seeing at the numbers, we can say that this is very encouraging that 82% total agri-entrepreneurs are now actively working on the field actually. And going forward in coming years, we are very positive that we'll be able to make more than 100,000 total agri-entrepreneurs, and we'll be able to reach more than 15 million farmers across country. So that's what we are thinking, and that's what we are doing on field. The Syngenta Foundation, yeah.
No, it's amazing. I mean, I just want to people. I don't know if people understand how huge it is. I mean, working with 2.6 million farmers through 26,000 agri-entrepreneurs, and now you manage to scale it. And you scale it, also important to say to everyone, in a very sustainable way. I mean, you create very strong trust. You have very, very tough process of identifying the right local agri-entrepreneurs, training them over some time period of 6 months, and then supporting them for 2 years until they become self-sustained. It's really massive. And then your vision to go to 100,000 agri-entrepreneurs and 15 million farmers, I think it's extraordinary. It's something really incredible. So, and we see it, I mean, as we visit you and we work with you on the ground, we see the trust level and the quality of the work that you work with them that enables such a project to actually be successful. So incredible on that end. Okay, you want to add anything else, Deepak, on that, or?
No, I think I have covered all the points, and if there is anything which you require to know, we'll be discussing it later. Yeah.
Perfect. So maybe we dive a little bit. How do maybe you start, and then we will at Sutapa. So first of all, the objective of the pilot was to reach. We defined different stages. So in the project itself, the goal is to get to 100,000 farmers eventually within the funded project. And we said we need different stages for that, obviously, to develop the core technology, which we did incredible work by different teams. And then we're going to the pilot itself on the ground, and we defined the pilot with 1,000 farmers. So originally, and then after we do this pilot, there's kind of a scale phase 1 and scale phase 2. Maybe Sutapa, you want to share Sutapa's screen with some slide about the pilot?
Yes, sure.
Please. So let me just stop sharing, and we'll hear more about the pilot and the phases. I think what's interesting for everyone to know, we wanted to make sure it's actually even the 1,000 farmer pilot was in 3 stages. In order to make sure every time we go to the agri-entrepreneur, we meet with the farmer, we fix what needs to be fixed. We go for another layer, we fix what needs to be fixed, and then we finalize the pilot. Sutapa, can you share your screen? Okay, perfect. Yeah, I let you speak about it.
Just a second.
Perfect.
Yeah, my screen is visible, right?
Yeah, just from the slide, yeah, important to mention, obviously, DigiFarm as well, that is a partner about the technology, satellite technology. So, yeah.
Yeah, so as I already said, in the 5am.Earth project, we are the technology partner, and along with us, we have Syngenta Foundation India, Anastasia Lab, and DigiFarm. So one thing I want to mention at very first point, that in this project, we have already processed over 3,000 transactions on the Cardano Mainnet within just 1.5 months. So, it has been driven directly by Agri-Entrepreneurs using the 5am.Earth platform. So, if I go in details of what is 5am.Earth platform is, so here is a diagram which is showing how the solution works at high level. So this is our 5am.Earth main, which is integrating with the Syngenta Foundation India with their AEs, farmers, and farm data. And in the 5am.Earth application, what we are doing, we are getting the initial data sets from Syngenta Foundation India, and we are doing data ingestion and pre-processing engine. And then we are starting our 5am.Earth mobile application, where AE is the main end user who they can log in, they can have satellite imagery based boundary detection. They can see AI-driven sustainability index, which we are getting from DigiFarm. They can see the Syngenta Foundation farmers who are actually integrated with this AE. They can map field boundaries and initiate, and in that way, in the background, the on-chain request is being initiated. And this on-chain request is being processed by Oracle. Here I will mention field from the Anastasia lab. So here the smart contract has been written, which is actually registering the farm registration data in the Cardano Mainnet blockchain. And along with this, from the 5am application, we are doing another transaction that is for the ownership NFT minting for each farm parcel. So that is the high level diagram how this solution works. Now here, as I mentioned, the short performance metrics of A, and it's not the final. This is we already been counting because the Syngenta Foundation India team is actively working with the AEs and farmers, and this is the data of last, as I said, 1 month, 2 weeks, and this is actively being increased. Maybe if I get within this time also it has been increased. So now it is 3,186 total records, where 3,074 farm has been registered and 112 has been updated. And till now we have registered 3,074 farms, and 2,577 farmers have been involved in whole process.
Perfect. But you are telling them some secret already. We will do the next show about the scale phase, because we are now in the scale phase after the pilot. So let's keep the ecosystem a little bit. We'll tell them some good news in a month or so about the scale phase as well. So, but the pilot itself, I mean, we're already over the pilot, so we're starting to show gross numbers, but the pilot itself was focusing on 1,000 farmers. And I would like actually to explain also the deep of the work you did around the pilot, because it's, we speak about the pilot, what does it mean? I mean, if you can a little bit speak about that from, maybe we'll start with Deepak, and when we move to you, Deepak, what does it mean to do a pilot with Agri-Entrepreneurs? I mean, how do you get the Agri-Entrepreneurs? Where do you meet them? How do you show them about this technology? How do you explain them what to do?
As I told, agri-entrepreneurs are someone who is identified at the village level. They are being identified by Syngenta Foundation India. They are trained for 45 days, and these agri-entrepreneurs, basically stay in the village and they serve 150 to 200 farmers. Okay, on various aspects. Maybe the services are across India now of 21 different type of services they are providing. So we, for the phase one of the project, actually, what we have done is that these agri-entrepreneurs already have the information of 150 to 200 farmers digitally. We already have an app called A Digital Diary, which they use for registration of the farmers. And the e-digital diary includes all the farmers, the personal details of the farmers, the economical details of the farmers, the location, the latitude and longitude of the farmers' land, actually. So all the details are being registered by AE for all this group of 150 to 200 farmers. Now for phase one, what we have done is that we have identified a geography called Amravati. It is a state. It is a small district in a state called Maharashtra in India. And what we have done is that we have taken few AEs in that particular location, and we have checked what is what it is like to do real registrations in the real scenario at the village level in that network condition, and all those things we have tested in the phase one. And then we came up with few changes which has to be done at the maybe at the app level, few modifications for better understanding of AEs and all. And then it gave us a whole set of feedbacks, challenges, everything, which helped us a lot to improve the app in the coming days. So in phase one, we have not taken so many candidates, but we have done the AI Quant team also joined us for the phase one. So we went around 3 different locations, and then we have done the registration of almost 11 people on field, 11 farmers on the field. And then we have met across 20 AEs on 2 days, in 2 days. And then we have came up with their feedback and etc. And we have made certain changes in the app, and then we have moved to phase two. In the phase two, we have made almost more than 200 registrations, and then we have also made continuous changes and continuous improvements into that. So that is all about phase one, phase two, phase three. I think Sutappa has already told it. But not deviating from what you have asked me, how do we do it on field? So on field, we have deployed a group of people who basically are Syngenta Foundation India people. They go across village, they meet these AEs, they help them to operate this app. They help them, they create awareness about technology which is involved into that app, satellite imagery, blockchain, all this technology, and then help them understand in a very easier language what this technology brings to them, and how what are the scope of this technology in future. So these people go across this AEs, help them use the app, register the farmers, and then it is a kind of a win-win situation for both AEs and also for us, because for AE gets awareness, he gets the real-time data and everything, access to the real-time data. He gets his farm registered into the blockchain. A digital ID is being created for his farmers, and we at the same time we are able to get the information of these AEs also and the associated farmers also in a real time. So this is now presently, as we speak, it is going on field, and as Sutappa said that we have already crossed more than 3,000 fields which is registered across the server. So that's how we are trying to drive it.
Okay, amazing. So very hands-on on the ground. Can you? How is the infrastructure in India for farming and technology? Do you have any, like the internet and smartphone? There is any challenges around that?
Yeah, so that is, if you say there are, I can say it is both way, because there are some places which are very poor in network, but the geography which we have selected, maximum I think 80 to 90% locations now is good in network. At least people get 4G to 5G of network there. So there is not at all any challenge if we speak about network.
Yeah, I was extremely impressed when I was in India a couple of times on the field with you guys about that, everywhere good internet, smartphones, and obviously that's the infrastructure is very good. What the government is doing to infrastructure is impressive, and it's helped to include application like that. One just important thing that I also to mention, and then I move to you, Sutapa, to give some your experience with working with the farmers and agri-entrepreneurs, is that the app is actually for the agri-entrepreneurs in order to help them better serve the farmer. So as you mentioned already, you have an app for agri-entrepreneur, and this is supporting this app basically and offer them more tools to support the farmer. So at a stage, we will also have solutions to the farmers themselves. But Sutapa, yeah, how is it to work with farmers and agri-entrepreneurs that using the technology you are building?
Honestly, when I actually preparing for this field visit, I had this idea that we have to do very good amount of back and forth. We have to make them understand, these AEs and farmers, to make them understand how the application works, what is APK, how this needs to be downloaded. So I was actually prepared myself for all these hassles. But honestly, when I started to work with them, from APK installation to login, they have done everything on their own, and they were saying, yes, we have logged in, now tell me what you want to show to me. Means, even if I am not going to give the demo, then also they can do some of the steps by their own. And not only that, they have given some very good feedback and very good suggestion to improve the application. Some farmers, some AEs also told that if there is no boundaries, so there was in some for the network, some boundary was not coming. So they said, no problem, just give our that feature, that where we can do the manual mapping, we can do it.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
the main thing is there was no hand holding, and they have given very good feedback, which not only good for the performance of the application, but for the future scope of the application, we can take input from those feedback and we can improve the application.
A very important point. I think the pilot stage was long because we took time to process that feedback and improve the application before we moved on to the scale phase. And being on the ground is the only way to do it. And I mean, we're grateful for having this team on the ground, and I mean, all the partners in this project. I think it's been an immense effort. Kudos to everyone. One point that I want to say, I mean, elaborating on the point you made, Sutapa, I think we entered this project a bit hesitant regarding the potential technical capabilities of farmers, small farm holders, and agri-entrepreneurs. And I think it's clear already that there is appetite to ingest more digital technology. And I mean, obviously, we're implementing digital identities and wallets in this app. So just to put it forth, that this is not just about data, right? This is about financial enablement at the end of the day, financial access for the farmers and agri-entrepreneurs. And we in the blockchain space know the potential of blockchain to create new financial ecosystems. And I think this is a ripe opportunity for this one.
Yeah. Deepak, anything else on that?
Yeah, I would like to add few points more actually. So Shay rightly said that we are seeing the potential about what we are doing, maybe a future. future, adding it to more options like our digital ecosystem, digital wallets, and everything. So many of, as we are working day to day, registering more and more farms and more farmers on field, we are getting a very innovative and very, very different type of feedbacks. So I was connected yesterday, and people were asking me few of our feedbacks on the field were like, are we going to get few insurances based on this, and maybe few advisory based on this. So those were the kind of questions which are coming from the field, and I am very much happy, to address and to, create awareness and to create a kind of education amongst the AEs and the farmers. So
Yeah. No, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I think from day now, I mean, above all, when you do a project like this, you need to have a collaborative between the people. And we see it across the board. I mean, it was really it gave me so much comfort to see the level of collaboration between the teams and between the agri-entrepreneurs and the farmers and the interest. I mean, we had earlier today another session with new agri team supporting the agri-entrepreneurs. It's ongoing relationship and process, and everyone excited about that. A lot of hard work, a lot of our work to get up to now. And you all started a little bit to give some info about the next phase already that we are integrating, which is cool because we're all excited about the next phase. Pilot is great, but we all excited about that. So I don't know if anyone, I would love to share a little bit about the next phase, where we are going, kind of in terms of the vision and that we work together through the process. But maybe before that, there's anything else to add about the pilot from any one of you, like the pilot itself, maybe an anecdote from the field, or I don't know, anything from the pilot, about the pilot itself process. Deepak or Sutapa. I mean, how many technical? Do you had a lot of technical issues? I know they are contacting you all the time. I mean, you're about that. Or like, what's an anecdote if you have from the field?
So during the field visit, I got one feedback from one of the AE that actually means a lot. That how we are getting very concerned and very thoughtful about the whole environmental ecosystem. So they are saying they need advisory, but don't give any chemical related chemical solution of for the field's health related issues. Give us some organic, they said that give us some organic solution. So that is, I think that is very much thoughtful, that they are actually thinking about the ecosystem. So chemical one is very easily available, and that can initially improve the health of the field, but they don't want that solution. They want a steady and a solution that will be helpful for the environment itself. So that is not a technical thing, but that is one thing that actually very important to mention here.
Yeah, extremely important. I mean, this feedback, I mean, we are developing behind the screens, and if you don't get this feedback from the ground, I mean, we are developing it for ourselves. Here we have real users and real people using the app and making transaction on Cardano, which is amazing. Maybe Shai, maybe before we go into the bigger vision that came up through the collaboration, maybe you just speak about the next phase now of what we are planning in terms of the kind of scale phase of the following the pilot and the technology we're integrating.
So let's just say, I mean, we finished the pilot stage, we concluded the pilot stage of this project, but I think it's worth saying that this project as a whole is kind of a pilot. So we're finished the pilot inside the pilot. And the scale up phase of this project is meant to get to 100,000 farmers. And we expect to be there within the next 3 months, potentially earlier. The point is to take the learnings from the initial pilot phase and following our improvements, go and reach out to these 100,000 pretty much in the same area in India. Some key elements that we want to start playing with is with digital identities and wallets. So how people are going to really interact. It has to be said. I mean, there's many considerations going to how people really interact with wallets, which can hold assets, potentially NFTs, which represent their ownership or title to a piece of land. So all these are things that we still need to work through, potentially with local partners, and this will take shape in the next phase. And I think in the scope of this project, we're not yet going to integrate other data points, but we're going to set the stage for the financial layers, is what we're looking to do.
Yeah. So just in the pilot itself, I want to mention we have two phases now in the scale. One is we are going to have actually two groups. One is the scale with the agri-entrepreneurs and scale the number of farmers. And second, what we are implementing also within the app is educational layer and kind of wizard of usage of the app. So agri-entrepreneur can use the app even without a close mentorship. And there we integrate in Andamio in this phase. So the wizard agri-entrepreneur learns something, then they do it, and then they get recognition on that. And the educational aspect for scale can be very fast, because if we think about it, satellite technology can scale fast, right? I mean, but then we need tools to support the agri-entrepreneur to scale fast also from the ground. So I think in the next phases we will have these two working groups, and we can compare between them. So within the scope of this project. And Deepak, I don't know, maybe, yeah, I mean, you know what, we will speak next time actually when we speak about the plan and how you build actually the plan to scale it from 1,000 farmers to 20,000 and then 100,000. That's kind of extra from the scope. But any comments kind of about that from anyone? I mean, kind of the next phases, without giving too much details, because then we'll give it to them in the next session. I know it's tough for us because we live it all day and we're excited about the progress that is happening. But yeah, if there's any other comments on that from anyone, it's cool. Cool. Okay, it was kind of. You feel like, guys, that we share a little bit where we are going, or the dream of what we are building? Shai, what do you say?
I mean, I think we have. Obviously, I mean, the key for me personally is the financial access and enablement at the end of the day, right? So ultimately, the goal is very, very simple: to turn farmland into verifiable digital assets, right? And that will open the door then to many use cases in the future, and will, I think, open the farmers to a new world of finance.
Yeah. So I will just I was very excited to be actually in Builderfest and also in Argentina with all the great builders in the ecosystem, and share kind of also part of the vision of that. I will just share with you again, not with a lot of details. You will hear more about it soon. Just to share with all of us. But in essence, this is what we are trying to do now. The vision started from a satellite oracle project, and we kind of, the next dream of that is really to enable a trust layer of information. And we're in essence going to solve two main problems. And it's related to financial, eventually, as Shai mentioned, it's the cost of information going today from the ground to the market is very high. And therefore, the cost of money flowing from the market to the ground is very high. If you look on credit or insurance or whatever we look. And in essence, what we build, and again, I don't want to share too much, is eventually the dream is to build something like that, where we have, or what we are building already, we have multiple sources of data coming through technology as well as through the ground. Technology like satellite, IoT is another, and the ground is agri-entrepreneur, farmer, agent. Then we connect that to a trust layer of information on the Cardano blockchain that will include all the things we spoke today, all the infrastructure AI Quant and Sutapa are building the satellite oracle, Veridian, reputation system by Andamio, and then on top of that, then privacy, right? Midnight privacy for compliance, and then on top of that, we kind of take APIs for the application there, and we can imagine, in this case, so many applications built on Cardano that can be relevant. We are speaking very closely with our friends at Zengate and Trivaltech and Landano and FIDA Finance and so on. And we can imagine how we can start offering really services that brings a lot of value, ownership, carbon, trading, finance, that brings a lot of value to the farmers in the end, and make the supply chain much more efficient. That's kind of to share with you how, from a project started kind of with a satellite oracle ID, with the right partners and a lot of hard work, we kind of evolve it of where we want to go. And all of that will have huge impact on the Cardano in terms of TVL users and actually revenue for the ecosystem. Yeah, I don't know. Again, we shared more information that we wanted in this.
I think we still have many things cooking, and I think surprises to come. This project has great potential, so I'm not worried about sharing too much.
I will repeat, for me, above all, this project, and I will let each one of you kind of give a sentence from your side. But for me, above all, this project is really what attracted me to Cardano 6 years ago. This type of projects. And we have incredible technology, and we speak about the technology that need to enable all of that. But then we speak about people. We want this technology to touch people. We want people to use it, and we want to impact people. And that, first of all, done by great collaboration with teams and people. It starts there, and trust. And then you can start giving this message and technology to other people and building long-term relationship. So yeah, I'm so grateful to be part of that, small part of that project. I don't know if anyone wants to share anything from their side on that.
I think you nailed it. I mean, for me, it is the collaboration, and within the ecosystem, within the Cardano ecosystem already, we have very, very large group and diverse group of partners contributing to this project, and potential for many more to come, and also obviously outside the ecosystem, on the ground with Syngenta Foundation in India and Syngenta more broadly. And we know, I mean, here I'm not going to reveal, but we know down the line potentially other partners to come in. So that's I think that's the main point. I will repeat what I said before. I think the bigger picture, ultimately, the goal is turning farmland into digital asset and connecting farmers to the global financial ecosystem, right? That's the main aspect for me.
So we got one question from a few questions, but one of them is interesting. So there's impressive number, waiting to see what's next, great market fit. Will it be natively on ADA or other tokens is planned? Maybe Shai, you want to comment on that?
So, I mean, right now we're building on Cardano, and this project is part of the Cardano ecosystem. We expect Cardano to be the Cardano blockchain to be the core blockchain for this project going forward. Potentially for 5am.Earth as the foundation. A token is something that we're considering. We don't know yet. I wouldn't say anything about that.
Yeah, I mean, but obviously, like stable coins is a classic integration, right? I mean, to that.
Obviously, I mean, the enablement layer is financial integration, so we don't need a new token, right? It's essentially, I mean, for the farmers to interact among themselves with supplier, etc. I think we'll enable stable coins here, and the recent integration of USDC on Cardano is a major point for us. But obviously, we were looking to work with the already existing native Cardano native stablecoins. So that's one use case that will open up.
Perfect. Deepak, I have a question for you. I mean, you already had an app for the Agri-Entrepreneur, but how do you feel is working with this team and the blockchain? I mean, part like how is the feeling from you the connection between the ground and the technology. I
Yeah.
mean, how do you feel about this connection?
So I have two answers for that actually. So first, for us, how is it working? And when we are connected with the 5am app. So for us, when initially we started AEDD, the digital diary app, the basic idea was to connect AE to Syngenta Foundation India and also to the farmers. Okay. Majorly, that was started to connect AE to the farmers, collecting their whole data and uh, basically giving them services based on that particular data which he is collecting in AEDD. Now, taking it to the next level, when we connected this with the 5am app, that whole data become a base of what we are able to provide these AEs in the real time, actually real time data. So earlier they had a base data which was collected by them, but then it was layered by a real time data, satellite imagery, and providing them the real images of their field, and offering them multiple services, giving them indexes such as sustainability indexes. So it is a kind of exciting for AEs as well to do something new, and seeing the foundation of what data they have collected, growing it to real time AI based data. So that is a kind of exciting for us and for AEs as well. That's I would say.
Good, perfect. So Tapa, any closing thoughts from anyone? How do you feel? How excited you are about what's going forward, or any other thought you have? Yeah.
So first of all, from my side, this connecting with the farmers and the A's through Syngenta Foundation India, that was very amazing, and it was a very new experience for me, because earlier also I have worked in software development and project leads. But yes, for the in the agriculture, to go to that much of ground level where we are in the fields and seeing this is the field, that one AE and farmers were showing that these are my fields, and these are we are going to map in the application. That is something incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
I want to build on that and what you said before, Yoram. So for me, being in blockchain for, let's say, 9 years now, almost 10, I think this is one of the things, I mean, the early visions of what we saw back in the days of what it would be possible. I mean, real financial enablement for people. And that's, I mean, back then was a vision, and to see it taking shape and actually be part of it, I feel humbled. So that's what I want to share.
Good. Deepak, last sentence. Already you shared a lot of last sentences. All good. Yeah. No, tell me, sir, anything else you want to share, or it's?
No, I think, yeah, I'm also very much happy to be part of this a very exciting project, doing pilot 1, 2, 3, and now doing the pilot on field. It gives, a kind of a joy for me on daily basis, actually seeing the numbers increasing day by day. Every morning I come up and then I see a new, a milestone being set up. That's kind of very exciting for me and my team.
Yeah, it's incredible how we start from an idea and we actually see it happening now.
Right.
It's incredible.
That's very exciting.
Good, amazing. I want to thank all of you, and I want to just stress again that it's not a one company project. There's so many collaborators here. If it's DigiFarm, that again I didn't mention in the beginning, and Anastasia Labs and Andamio, and obviously AI Quant, that is the full support and technology support, and around that Shai and Ashpoint that coordinating everything, and then 5am is kind of the model we are trying to go into as an ecosystem collaborative kind of platform to be able to scale all of that. And 5am, by the way, is because farmers are waking up at 5am. So,
yes.
And obviously, a huge thank you for the trust and collaboration to Syngenta Foundation in India and all the team there on the ground. It's a big team that is supporting, and a huge thank, obviously, to Syngenta headquarters. Also, they all the weekly meetings they are joining. We are speaking about the next steps. There's so much work being done behind the scenes above this project to try and make sure we make it sustainable and scalable. So really thank to all of you for all of that. And
thank you, Yoram, for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.